If we look at history, the biggest skydiving accident happened because of a small mistake. The realization of this mistake came only after 18 skydivers had already jumped from the plane, and there was no way to go back. After jumping from the plane, the excitement of all 18 skydivers turned into fear. They were all experienced skydivers, but unfortunately, their years of experience were of no use that day. In this accident, 16 skydivers lost their lives, and the story told by the 2 survivors sent chills down everyone's spine. Welcome once again to SMTV Videos, viewers. Today, the world remembers this accident as the Lake Erie disaster. Lake Erie is located in the U.S. state of Ohio. It is the 4th largest lake in North America, and the 11th largest in the world. About 13 kilometers south of the lake, there is a small airfield called Ortner Airport. On August 27, 1967, 30 skydivers arrived at this airport because they were offered a free flight. A B-25 bomber plane, used during World War II, and later modified, was offering this flight. As the skydivers boarded one by one, space ran out due to weight limits. The pilot selected only 20 skydivers based on experience and skill. The 10 who were not selected felt disappointed. But little did they know, this decision would save their lives. The plan was simple. Take off, climb to 20,000 feet, and drop 18 skydivers over the airport. Then, the plane would go higher, and the last 2 would jump from above. Everyone would land back, using parachutes. Due to bad weather, the flight was delayed. But at 3 p.m., the B-25 finally took off. The skydivers were excited, not just because it was free, but because it was their first jump from a bomber plane. Another plane, a Cessna 180, also took off. Its job to film the jumps from 12,000 feet. The B-25 climbed higher, spiraling upward. Both pilots stayed in contact with air traffic control. After about an hour, the B-25 reached 20,000 feet. The pilot asked for his position. The controller said, "You are 9 kilometers from the airport." A minute later, the Cessna pilot asked for his position. He was told he was 9 kilometers behind the B-25. A few minutes later, the B-25 asked again. This time, the controller said, "You were directly over the airport." The pilot trusted this and gave the signal to jump. The small mistake that would cost lives had already happened, but no one knew it yet. At 20,000 feet, the temperature was freezing. The skydivers jumped, forming a formation in the air. Below them, a thick layer of clouds. They planned to open parachutes. After passing through, everything felt normal until they passed the clouds. And then, their excitement turned into terror. Instead of land, they saw water. Endless water. Lake Erie. Beneath them. They were only 3,000 feet above the water. They opened their parachutes quickly, hoping to reach land. But they were too far. About 10 kilometers away. They had planned to remove their gear and wait for rescue. But their heavy clothing pulled them down. They couldn't stay afloat. Only 2 skydivers, who removed extra weight, survived. The other 16 drowned. Their bodies were found days later. The last one, after a week. The world demanded answers. ATC claimed the skydivers were dropped over land and drifted due to wind. But calculations showed that was impossible. The investigation found a shift change at ATC. The new controller gave the B-25 the wrong position. He gave them the Cessna's location. So when the pilot thought he was over the airport, he was actually over Lake Erie. Another mistake. They jumped without visually confirming the drop zone. A basic safety rule ignored. In memory of the 16 skydivers, others later landed in the lake with safety gear. In 1972, the authorities were held responsible, and the pilot lost his license. After this, new rules were made to prevent such tragedies. We hope you liked this video and shared it. Thank you for your support, and see you in the next video.